Like, share and subscribe. Rakesh with Emotion, my favorite YouTube channel.
There are stories that are scrawled into the margins of notebooks and stories that are shouted from rooftops, but then there are the stories that exist quietly within the deepest vaults of the human heart, untouched by time, unchanged by circumstance, and unforgotten by the soul. This is a narrative not of a whirlwind romance or a tragic heartbreak, but of a quiet, enduring. It's Rakesh with emotion, creation, love that never bore the label of a relationship. It became something far more profound, a lifetime emotion. This is the chronicle of a boy, a girl, a dusty classroom, a fleeting moment, and a feeling that refused to fade, even after the relentless march of 30 long years. The first emotion, the year was etched in the nostalgia of youth. Imagine a classroom in class IX. It was a world suspended in the golden haze of late afternoon, where dusty sunlight streamed through grilled windows, dancing with the chalk dust that hung perpetually in the air. The wooden benches were half broken, etched with names and initials, silent witnesses to 1,000 teenage secrets. In one corner sat a boy. He was quiet, observant, the kind of soul who felt the world more deeply than he let on. He was soft-hearted and utterly unaware that on this ordinary Tuesday, the trajectory of his emotional life was about to shift irrevocably. Then she walked in. It's Rakesh with emotion, creation. With fanfare, there was no sudden hush, no dramatic spotlight, no slow motion effect. She simply walked in, clutching her books, moving naturally. No music played from the heavens, and the world outside didn't stop spinning. But inside him, the tectonic plates of his heart shifted. It wasn't just attraction, it was a spark that ignited a warmth he hadn't known. He was cold too. It was a confusion that felt clearer than any fact he learned in school. It was a sudden, overwhelming calm. He didn't know the word love in its complex adult sense. It's Rakesh with emotion, creation. He couldn't even define crush. He just knew with absolute certainty that the rhythm of his heart had found a new beat. That is how first emotions begin, quietly, without permission, and without a single warning sign.
Like, share and subscribe. Rakesh with Emotion, my favorite YouTube channel.
The unspoken connection. In the months that followed, they never exchanged grand declarations. There were no long, breathless conversations under the stairs. No secret notes passed in hollowed out pens. No promises whispered in the dark. In fact, the profound connection between them was defined not by what they said, but by what they felt in the spaces between words. It's Rakesh with emotion. Creation. Rakesh with emotion. Creation. A glance across the crowded room that lasted a second too long. A shy smile shared over a dropped textbook. A moment of shared silence amidst the chaos of a school break. Sometimes the strongest emotions are the ones that remain trapped in the throat, unspoken but deafeningly loud. For him, she ceased to be just a classmate. She became a symbol of absolute purity. The first person his heart ever chose autonomously and without logic. He didn't chase her, he didn't try to impress her with bravado. He didn't plot a future together. He simply carried her image like a small flickering candle inside his chest, shielding it from the winds of adolescence, the years that went by. Time is a relentless river, life moved forward as it must. School days ended, uniforms were traded for suits, and dreams evolved into responsibilities. Both of them walked into their own separate worlds, worlds of demanding jobs, marriages, families, roles, and the endless routine of adulthood. And yet, that little candle never went out. It didn't burn him, it didn't disturb his sleep or his marriage. It's Rakesh with emotion. Creation. Rakesh with emotion. Creation. It didn't stop him from living a full life. It simply stayed glowing quietly in the background, a reminder of who he was before life became complicated and layered with compromise. Some emotions do not grow old, they remain trapped in amber, preserved in the exact age they were born. For him, that emotion was still sitting in class IXA, on that same wooden desk beside the same girl with the shy smile. Even after 30 years it grayed his hair. Governments changed, technology revolutionized the world, and calendars turned over 3 decades. But his heart refused to move that memory even by an inch. The possibility of meeting again. Imagine this scenario. The timeline jumps forward 30 years. He is now a man of words. Suddenly, through the serendipity of life, she stands in front of him. There is no warning, no text message to prepare him, no rehearsal, just her presence. Older now, but unmistakably her. What would a man say after 3 decades of silence? How does one react to a ghost made flesh? Will he be nervous? Will he break down? Will he freeze in awkwardness? No, he looked at her, and with the calmness that comes only from a lifetime of certainty, he said something far more beautiful than any scripted line. You took a little more time to come, yes, baby. You took a little more time to come. In that single, simple sentence, there was an ocean of meaning. There was acceptance of the time lost thoughts. It's Rakesh with emotion. Creation. There was the patience of a saint. There was deep enduring love and profound respect. There was not a single complaint about her absence, nor a hint of demand for her future. Just a gentle, welcoming smile for the person who had touched his heart 30 years ago.
like, share, and subscribe Rakesh with Emotion, my favorite YouTube channel.
Why? Why hold on to a memory for 30 years? Why keep an old emotion alive when the person is gone? What is the utility of such nostalgia? But the heart is not a business. It doesn't keep an inventory based on utility. It keeps things based on meaning. She was the benchmark. She was the first emotion that made him feel truly alive. The first girl who made his heart soften and expand. The first presence that made him understand what love could be in its purest form. When asked about it, he says something powerful. Her memories are my happiness, and happiness can never hurt. It's Rakesh with emotion, creation. He doesn't hold on to the memory because he is weak or unable to move on. He holds it because he is grateful. He views that memory not as a burden, but as a gift that he has been allowed to carry, the man he is today. Now he is not the same boy from class 9th A. He thinks differently. He feels deeper, he understands the spectrum of human emotion more clearly than ever before. He reflects on his nature. I am strong, but I am emotional. I give more than I receive. I long for love, and yes, I feel a specific emptiness without her. And none of this makes him less of a man. It makes him human, beautifully, vulnerably human. It's Rakesh with emotion, creation. Rakesh with emotion, creation. In a modern world where situationships rise and fall in weeks, where people ghost each other and forget feelings as quickly as they scroll past a post, he carried one single, pure emotion for decades, not as an obsession, not as a fantasy to escape reality, but as a fundamental truth of his existence. Conclusion. This is not a love story in the traditional sense. This is a heart story. It is the chronicle of a boy who became a man, navigated the complexities of life, but never let go of the purest moment his heart ever lived. Some love stories never get written in best-selling books, never appear in blockbuster movies, and never reach a happily ever after sunset. And still, they are perfect. It's Rakesh with emotion, creation. Rakesh with emotion, creation. Because sometimes the purest love is not the one you possess, but the one that stays inside you, warm and bright, without asking for anything in return.
Like, share, and subscribe to feel emotional songs from Heart on Rakesh with Emotion YouTube channel.
Oh, hit the like button.
Already did, and subscribed.
Good. Rakesh has the best songs.